Hello, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their break and their time at home. I know that we are. Joey's helping mom right now get ready for caramel apple pie and about to put the turkey in the oven. So, again, hope you guys are enjoying your break and your time with your family. Questioning today was regarding bargaining and unionization and approaches to doing that. I will say this: I really hope that I mean, first of all, I love this class. I've really enjoyed this chapter, this book, and I've really enjoyed the topics in there. I'm hoping that we get to expand on a lot of this because, for example, teacher assessment and curriculum, I feel like those things are so important. So I know there's other things relevant or related coming up in class, so I hope we get to expand on that. Well, anyways, I got in touch with my representatives at the district I work at just to get a feel for, what it looks like, because I've never been part of that process. And the things he talked about were base salary and health insurance coverage, which makes sense that would be, the two areas of major concern, and that those are really where they focus their time. A lot of it is just comparing schools of equal or ranging size and, that are close to where our district is and looking at where they're at and then, determining from there. I think it sounds like there's a really strong relationship, between the board and our union representatives. So I think typically those conversations go very well. And I know for a fact that our superintendent, he's not one to hold back support, which I think is pretty typical for our district in general. We're not in the business of holding things back or, keeping things away as far as money or, resources. If we can pay the people that we think we can pay, we will. The other note was that any smaller individual issues, as long as they don't violate the contract that was established, those things are kind of typically handled outside of the negotiation process. And so as far as like time in and things like that, I think, I think the relationship is such that, a lot of those things can be handled pretty easily. I think that goes really well with the new ideas of, bargaining and what those approaches look like. And the new approaches make a lot of sense to me in the sense that, we're working together, achieve what's good for kids. We're not trying to fight between the board and principals and staff. I think the goals are to achieve the right perspective for students. So I think that's always really good. And so one of the things I've noticed is just our district is constantly collecting data and making decisions as we go. I think similar to what I discussed earlier about smaller decisions being made on an ongoing process. The idea is that we're trying to gain commitment from staff and not necessarily forcing them to do things. Let me just say that is very difficult for me, and that's something I need to be working on too. Is just that idea of gaining commitment, and there's just such a hard balance there. Especially like, for example, me being a school psych, coming from it in a little different perspective. When I have ideas such as behavior intervention plans and RTI, counseling for kids, if there's services that we can be providing students in the classroom, we try to implement those as easily as possible. But the problem ends up being where if I can't be the one who does those things, if I can't be the one that implements those services, then how do I make it so that we do what's right for kids, but then at the same time balance the need of the teacher in the classroom? Just because I know that that's difficult, and teachers are asked to do so much, probably too much, and so how do you do that? And so I love that new perspective of finding commitment, getting people on board on the bus, and that they're wanting to be on the bus and they're wanting to do those things, and that they're wanting to be compliant, even though that's probably not the right word. And you try to gain that kind of level of support from staff. That's one of my areas where I need to be working consistently because, yeah, sometimes I feel like there's things you just need to do, and maybe that's not something that we're all going to want or maybe all going to like, but you just need to step up and do that for students. So, thank you. I hope that gives you some perspective of where I'm coming from, and I hope you guys have a happy and fun holiday.